Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It has been a little while since I have last uploaded and flown on the channel, but after 130 days I'm back and we are in the sim. Today we are flying in the Jetstar A320ceo for the first time ever on the channel. This has come from Latin VFR. It is a mod to the A320neo that comes with the game. It's still the same basic level. There are some switches that have been activated that don't work in the A320neo. They don't work in the CO either, but they do have animation, so it just makes it a little more interesting. This is by no means an advanced level aircraft whatsoever. It still has the same basics as the A320neo, but it's a little bit more fun to fly. There's a basic EFB, or maybe just a control iPad, we'll call it. It's not really an EFB, but it gives us a bit more functionality and a bit more ground animation. So let's get into the sim and get this flight underway. All right, so this is, yeah, like I said, the A320ceo from Latin VFR. I think they've done a really good job at capturing it. They've got the correct IAE engines for Jetstar. Small oddities like the engine safety cone actually goes into the engine cowling, which is not quite right, but it's fine. This is, like I said, this is not an advanced level aircraft whatsoever. It's still the bare bones basics that you would find in the sim. But we do have additions such as these staircases that come with it, so we can turn those on and off. There's no animation to them, they just disappear. The doors still both animate, and things like wheel chocks. We can, in fact, I will bring out the ground power generator as well. And yeah, it's just a little bit more fun to fly. So let's get into the flight deck and we'll get things set up. So we are cold and dark at the moment, so let's get our batteries on. And we will also turn on the ground power. So to do the ground power, you don't do the switch from up top, you just turn on the GPU from here, and that fires everything up, which is really cool. We'll get some, we'll turn on the weather, we'll turn on some lights as well, get things how I usually like to have it. About there for the floods, and there for the center console floods as well. Usually sort of play around with the displays a little bit as well. As you can see, I've got no VREF numbers in there yet because I am doing a flight plan from scratch using SimBrief. But we will actually check META for Brisbane. That is Hamilton Island, which is our destination. But Brisbane at the moment, so we'll be taking off from runway 19 right, which is way over the other side. It's the newest runway in the at the airport, which they have got in the sim. And the scenery that I'm using as well is if I just bring it up, which you can see through the windshield, is actually a custom, not custom, sorry, it's a paid add-on which you can find in the marketplace. It's not bad. It's not the greatest in keeping frame rates high, but it's pretty good overall. I think it was about 35 Australian dollars, and I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, back to the META. So as you can see, yeah, so the wind is coming directly up from one left or one right, depending on which runway we take off from. So we'll be taking off from runway 19 right, so it will be quite a lengthy taxi today. But, let's get some things put into the MCP. So 3012 is current QNH. Of course, I'm using inches and not hectopascals because this is just what I prefer. In Australia, we'd obviously use the metric, but I prefer the imperial. It's just a personal preference. We'll turn on constraints and we'll turn on the flight directors as well. Now, if I go over to the flight plan, which I do have here and I will bring up, as you can see, if we scroll down, where is the flight plan? Whoops, I went past it. So it's pretty short. So we'll leave Brisbane, we'll be direct to BN, and then it's the Q67 airway, and then Ovron, direct to Hamilton Island. So we'll put that in and see what it looks like on the map. Hopefully it's correct, otherwise I will do another flight plan. Pretty much want to come from the southeast and go past Hamilton Island, do a 180 pretty much, and then come back down and land on runway 14, which is the north end of the runway. Okay, so we will put that into the flight computer. So initialization start with, so we're going from YBBN going to YBHM. I apologise for the lack of using the correct NATO alphabet terminology, but I can never ever remember most of the letters. So Yankee, Bravo, Bravo, N for, I can never remember N, and Yankee, Hotel, Bravo, Mike. Oh, got one. Anyway, chuck that in. Not in the database. Why? What have I done? YBBN to, because I'm an idiot. YBHM. There we go, we'll put that in. There'll be no company routes, so we'll just go return. Cost index for Jetstar is actually 40 for their narrow bodies. What is our altitude? 360, which is perfect. That's what I was expecting. And it will generate the temperature for us. Excellent. So now we'll go to performance page. And actually, no, before we do that, we do need to do the fuel, which I don't think I can do. I don't think I can do from in here. Can I? If I go to, was it under in it? Oh, I can't remember where fuel actually is. Program. Okay, no, let's do it through the actual in-sim fuel. So if I go down on the flight, I'm not going to bring up the flight plan because it just covers the screen too much. So fuel, just to believe me. So fuel, 7.7 tonnes. Wow, okay, we'll just use the slider. Get it about right. 7.740 is fine. Cargo 0.5. Oh no, sorry. Overall payload 13.8. So it was almost close. That'll do. 13743. The CG stuff on the side I don't generally touch. I don't think you actually need to. I'm pretty sure it's pretty accurate. Okay, so if we go to performance, our V speeds should automatically calculate. They do, because we have now done the fuel. Flaps will be 1. Transition altitude for Australia is between 10 and 11,000, so we'll do 11,000 so it doesn't coincide with other things we need to do at that time. And just check through here, everything should have pre-calculated. Estimated fuel on board 6.0. I think that's what that means. Maybe. Okay, we'll just pretend that that's correct. And of course the approach we will do, we'll change that to 11,000 for the transition altitude now, but we will update that just before we go into our descent cycle. Flight plan, we obviously need to enter that in. It's very, very short. So we direct to BN. Nothing went in. Huh? What happened there? There we go. It took its time. So I need to find out what the coordinates of BN is, which is just outside the airport. So it's 27 south by 153 east, roughly. Is it? 27153? Do we see 27153 on here? Oh, 21. Am I reading this completely wrong? That does not match. Oh, it's right there. Oh, my mouse is over it. So 27153. Now, I've seen a lot of videos where they say just use the top one because that's probably going to be accurate. Well, no, it's not, because this one here is 8 degrees north, 125 degrees east, whereas the one I want is 27 degrees south and 153 degrees east. So that's the one we want there. And then the next one is Ovron. There is an airway. I don't know how to do airways in the A320. I don't actually know if you can in this version. So we'll chuck Ovron in there. Perfect, that went in. And then we will establish our SIDS and stars. So departure will be runway 19 right. and it will be, well, it says direct, but I want to select BN4. And we'll insert that transition. Is there there's no transition. Airways is Quebec 67. Okay, no, that looks about right. And then our arrival is also direct. It'll be RNAV 14 Zulu. And yeah, there's no star to choose anyway, so we will insert that one. Okay, let's have a look on the map and see what that looks like. So the plan, I should say. I'm not in a Boeing, it's called a plan, not a map. And then we'll just cycle through. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, so I've done that wrong. So it will be direct. So departure will be 19 right, and it'll be no star. Sorry, no SID. And we'll insert that. What does that look like now? That looks better. Even though it's yellow, there we go, it's green. That does not look better. I don't like that oh, okay, we're going to take off, we're going to go around. We're going to go with it anyway. It's fine. Right, let's step through that again. So, and then we do a big circle around. No, I think I'm happy with that. It's very short. Why is it so short? Oh, because it's direct. It's just skipping. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. I'm used to more airways and waypoints. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so RadNav should be nothing because we are flying RNAV. I'm pretty sure you can put VORs in here. I don't know what they are. I don't have the charts for it, but don't really need them for this basic aircraft either, so it's absolutely fine. Performance we've already done. We'll just check the 360. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's how easy it is. I've been flying around the PMDG 737, and there's so much more to do in that one than these basic aircraft that come with the sim. So 360 in, we'll just check we have got V speeds showing up. Yes, we do. That is fantastic. Everything else is fine. We'll go to the overhead and see if there's anything we need to turn on. We should have had our nav lights on already because that is standard for sitting at the gate. We won't need the logo light because we are in broad daylight. It is currently 10 to 9 in the morning here. This is the thing I was talking about in the intro too, is we've got this things like the IRS we can turn switches on. It doesn't do anything, they're just animated, that's it. A few other things. The temperature control, if you do change it, it does actually change the temperature, which is kind of cool. We'll turn no smoking on. This is a no smoking flight. And also, passengers will be boarding via the ramp as opposed to a jetway, this is actually accurate to Brisbane. The Jetstar terminal at this pier do not have jetways, so they do board via the apron or the ramp. This terminal is also used by Tiger Air Airways, which is defunct. Virgin Australia owned it wholly. That was wholly owned by Virgin Australia, and it is they wound it down when they had their slight blip where they almost went completely bankrupt, or tits up, if you will. You can see in the distance, this is the Virgin terminal here. You can see the Virgin Australia logos, and then over this side is Qantas, and they have sold out. And they are, if I angle that right, you can just see HSBC logos on their jetways, and of course, all the way over here as well. Qantas owns Jetstar outright. It is wholly owned subsidiary of Qantas, so we are more or less flying a Qantas flight anyway. But this is their budget airline. I would compare Jetstar to, in the US, probably more like JetBlue. So not quite like Southwest or Allegiant or Spirit. It's probably more like JetBlue. And in Europe, Jetstar would probably be, I want to say EasyJet, solely because they both fly Airbus equipment. Maybe not quite like Ryanair. I'm trying to think of other budget airlines in Europe. I don't really know many at all, to be honest. Of course, the UK and Irish-based airlines that I'm talking about. So we'll say, yeah, Jetstar's pretty similar to EasyJet. Of course, Jetstar is one of the oldest operating budget airlines around as well. They have been around for a very, very long time, and what they do very, very well. Apart from legroom, I'm almost 6'3", and I tend not to go on Jetstar because they put 184 seats into the A320s, which means the seat pitch is quite limited. I generally stick to Virgin Australia or Qantas, depending on the prices. Anyway, we need to get some clearance and get our pushback started, engine started and underway. So I will come back to you once I've done the clearance through the menus, and we'll get this bird in the air. Alrighty, we've got clearance cleared up to 13,000 feet, but we're just going to continue climbing through to our cruise altitude of 36,000 feet. I'm not going to do any step climbs in this one today. What we do need to do is get our APU started up, so we will flick on the master switch for the APU. While we're waiting before we can turn on the start switch, I like to turn on the beacons. We'll get the strobe lights into auto, so they're not actually going, but they are ready to go. And I like to get the landing lights down as well, but not turned on. Also, yeah, so we'll start the APU. Now it's got this weird bug. See how it went on and then off again? And I found it doesn't matter how long I wait. I've waited 5 minutes before, and it still does this. So that's not the issue. It's just a bug in the A320, and it does it with the one in the sim as well, like the standard one. But while the APU is starting up, we'll get the seatbelt signs turned on, and what we will do is we'll close some doors. And I've got an outside view and show you what that looks like. So the doors are closed. They do animate, but they're quite quick. And then I'll get rid of the stairways, and so if I do that, and they're just now gone. That's pretty much it. Also, we will get rid of the cones as well, because we are going to start pushback soon, and they are now, wheel chocks and cones have also just disappeared. It's like I said, this is just a basic. I think they've done it well. It's quite reasonably priced as well, but it's just a basic rendition airliner. So no animations at all. APU bleed can come on, and the GPU can now come off. Now you know you've done everything right, because your red text across the bottom of the screen has disappeared, saying that you've got to do some things before you can do anything else. And so I will actually turn that screen off as well. Notice how I'm not referring it to an EFB, because it's not really an EFB. It's just an additional control panel that LFVR have put into all their modded A320 aircraft now as well, which is kind of cool. I really, really like that. So we will request pushback. There it goes. Using an add-on for the ground services as well, so we get that engine sound. Fuel pumps can come on, and we will also turn on the engine start, and we'll get rid of the parking brake and just wait for our pushback. Awesome, there we go. Right, we're just going to get engine number 2 started up straight away. Pretty sure there's no dual engine start in the A320ceo, so we'll do one at a time. That's firing up, so that's good. And we are going to push back and turn the aircraft try and get it onto this taxi line here, or thereabouts. Obviously I'm just using the in-sim controls for that. So the sound's pretty good from what I remember as being a passenger on this aircraft. I'll start the turn there. It might be a little bit early. Yeah, a little bit early, but that's fine. We don't want to be too close to the grass. We'll stop it about there. And we'll get the parking brake just turned on with the keyboard, and we can start engine number 1. Well, there will arm the speed brakes as well. And that is the PTU pressurising. I'm not sure if you have to wait for that to pressurise before you put the flaps out, but I do anyway. I don't know what the procedure is for that. Okay, so we will put flaps to one. I'll do that outside view just for a bit of animation. Go. They do come out quite fast. I don't remember them coming out that fast in real life. Okay, that's our engine started up, and we have clearance to taxi out. But before we do that, before I shut down the APU, anything like that, we can actually, this is another addition to the LFVR version of this aircraft, is the lower centre screen is now active, so we can actually check our flight control. So we can go full left, full right, full up, full down, and because I still have not yet got rudder pedals, we're using the triggers on the Turtlebeach, so I can go full rudder left, full rudder right, and we'll check braking as well. There we go. Okay, excellent. So we'll put the starter mode back to norm, and we'll turn the APU off. We probably want the taxi light on, even though it's broad daylight. And we will disengage the parking brake, and we'll head out to the runway. So as per usual, I will do a bit of I'll speed up what I'm trying to say. I'll speed up the taxi, so you don't have to sit and watch all of that, because it is going to be quite a long taxi. Now, I just want to interrupt the sped up taxi video part, just to show you. So I'm holding the right rudder to keep this this plane on centre line. We've got a 6 knot wind, which is hitting the left side of the aircraft. But 6 knots, and it moves the entire plane like quite rapidly. That's me letting go of the rudder to the left, which only makes sense because the rudder's hitting. The wind is hitting the tail. But the physics are just not right. There is no way a 6 knot wind would move this size of an aircraft that much, that rapidly, I'm pretty sure. But so I thought I'd just interrupt this this sped up, and hammer on the brakes. Whoops. Yeah, I thought I'd interrupt this this sped up part of the video just to show how shit the physics actually can be in this game. Don't get me wrong, I still love the game, but it's just, yeah, I mean, I'm not a pilot, but I would guess that 6 knots would, no way would it do that so heavily in the aircraft. But anyway, back to the sped up taxi. Okay, we're just coming around the final turn to runway 19 right. You see the Tasman Sea out the right hand side of the aircraft. There's a Cessna somewhere over there, probably on, maybe on the island that's over there, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get her stopped here. The Turtlebeach braking system, which is you're either braking or you're not. There's no dynamic braking. So we'll get landing lights turned on. We'll also turn off the takeoff lights as well. Strobe definitely needs to be on, and we need our auto brake set to max. We'll go into the view I prefer for taking off, and we'll just do a quick check off the meta update. It looks like it hasn't changed at all. So this is as of 38 minutes ago. It's still 3012 for the QNH. Wind is still 6 knots coming straight up the runway from the one left end, so hence why we're taking off from runway 19. And let's get some things going and get this little bird in the air. While we're taxiing to the end of the runway, I should add I'm not a pilot whatsoever. I have no flying experience at all. Is this thing going to move? Fucking hell, we're doing 40%, 42%, and it barely moved. There we go. Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm not a pilot whatsoever. I've never ever flown an actual physical aircraft or even a proper simulator. Everything I know and have learned is in the sim from watching actual pilots fly in the sim, YouTube tutorials and everything. So my procedures are probably not accurate whatsoever. I'm not going to say, I mean I am going to say it for the sake of not saying it, that this should not be used for real world. Anyone who's watching flight simulator videos and then applying that to real world flying, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I feel like those disclaimers that actual pilots make are pretty unnecessary. Yes, you can't go to an airport, grab the keys, because they don't have keys, but you can't jump in the cockpit of an airliner and just fly it because you watched a video. That people aren't doing that. Anyway, okay, we'll go to around 50% power. Engines seem to be stable at 54-ish, and then up to flex. This will be a flex takeoff. Where are you, flex? There we go. Engines, they sound pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how they've modelled the engine sound. Okay, passing 100. So release the nose. And there's V1, rotate. Positive rate gear is coming up, and I'm going to ignore the flight director guides for now, all the way up until we get to, until we have to move the throttles back to CLB or climb. Looking pretty good. Let go, leave it to climb, and our engine's just, why does it do that? Throttles just went straight down. Wonderful. I'm going to hit the autopilot, and it will turn us. This is another thing in the game too that pisses me off. There's no way it should have done that. It just dropped our throttle right down to idle. Anyway. It doesn't do that in the PMDG, just saying. We'll also deactivate that speed brake as well. If you do hit autopilot pretty much straight off, once you've got positive climb, you won't get that throttle drop down, but I don't know why you get it when you're manually flying. Okay, we will lose that flap. And we can turn off the nose lights as well. It's pretty much straight up to 10,000, and then 11,000 is our transition. It will. It doesn't. It's not the best climber. I think it might be the climb profile for the for this aircraft though, because it's a little bit inaccurate in the PFD as well. So what I'll do is I'll come back to you once we are closer to 10,000. Okay, we're just approaching 10,000 now, so we can lose those landing lights, and then our speed should change up to 320 knots up until we reach max speed at around 26,500 feet. Also coming up to transition as well, so we'll put the QNH to standards very, very soon. Okay, that's close enough, so we'll go into standard. And then once we reach around just over 11,000, our seatbelts can go off. So you can see we are struggling to get up to 320. It's not the best climb. We're climbing at 1900 feet per minute, and we'll get there eventually. And then our climb rate will increase. We can get the seatbelts off. Passengers are now free to walk about the cabin. We might blast our map out to 360. So it's pretty much a straight shot up. And then we do have some turns to come round and land in Hamilton Island. So I'll come back to you once we have reached our cruise altitude. About 500 feet away from our top of climb. It's taken 6 or 7 minutes to get there too, so it's not the quickest climber. That's from 11,000 feet, so she's not the best performer. Again, no idea if that's true to real life at all. I'm assuming it's not. And then this also has a weird. Why are we dropping speed? Come on, get up there. I think we throttled down too quick. This does have a weird thing where it probably won't reach 360. It might just hover around. Oh, it might get there. I could be wrong. But I've seen so far it sits between 1,000 and 2,000 feet below the actual cruise altitude. But because we've reached our top of climb, let's have a look at time. So our estimated arrival time is 35 minutes past midnight UTC. It is currently 9:28 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is the time that we're on. UTC is currently 23:28, so another hour and 6 minutes apparently until we are on the ground in Hamilton Island. But the views are, well, for lack of a better word, standard for Australia. We are near the coastline though, so it's not quite as red and barren as it usually is, but yeah, it still looks pretty nice. But yeah, so we'll sit up here and cruise for another 40 or so minutes, and then I'll come back to you once we reach our top of descent. We'll do a bit of weather update for Hamilton. At the moment it's 22 degrees centigrade, so a beautiful winter's day, because it is winter here in Australia, if you can call what we have winter. 11 knot wind coming straight up the runway from 32, so we'll be landing on at the 14 end, and looking pretty good, nice and clear. No need. I didn't mention anything about engine or wing anti-ice systems at the start, and probably should have, but they were not required. So luckily we skipped over those. But anyway, I will leave you here, and I'll come back to you once we have reached our top of descent and start getting the aircraft back down onto the ground. Welcome back to the flight. So we've just reached 160 nautical miles away, well, thereabouts. We have got a turn as well, so it's a little more than 160. In fact, it can tell us 176 nautical miles away. So not too far away from top off descent. We'll do that once we get below 120. But for now, we're just going to do a quick weather check into Hamilton Island. So just refresh that. So this is as of 33 minutes ago, QNH 30.06, and we've got an 11 knot wind coming straight up the runway, which is perfect. That means even though it's 11 knots, there's no crosswind, so 140 at 11, loving it. VFR, there's no warnings, so visual flight rules can apply. We are going to try and do an RNAV approach. I have practiced this before using the in-sim flight planning, and the RNAV didn't work at all. It didn't pick up the glide slope, nothing. It was so I just did a manual landing, which was okay. But then for some reason, the last 30 feet we dropped out of the sky and slammed into the tarmac. Not sure why that happened. I didn't drop the throttles or anything. It was just a weird thing. Anyway. So what we will do is we will put that into our the data into our approach. So performance, next phase, QNH 30.06. Temperature is a lovely 22 degrees centigrade, and the magnitude wind is 140.411. Perfect landing conditions. The MDA and the DH, I'm not entirely sure what that is. I can look on the chart, the approach chart, which I won't bring up on screen. I just don't know. So I'm not a pilot. It's actually fine to leave that blank. It won't make any difference whatsoever. And but now all we need to do is just start our descent, which we will do fairly soon. But I'll come back to you once we will start that. We've just hit 120 miles exactly away, so I'm going to actually start our descent now, just to be safe. We'll take her down to, we'll go 22,000 feet, flight level 220 to start with. And I'm going to punch in 2,000 feet per minute. There is something going on with the with this aircraft descent profile, and I'll show you what happens. So 2,000 feet per minute up here. If we go into here, it might actually be okay. It was going right down to 2,600 feet per minute on descent. Well, there's 20 or 2,000. Okay, we'll see. We'll just wait and see what happens. It seems to be okay now. It might have just been a glitch in the sim. It's a bit weird. Anyway, just double check the weather because that was 42 minutes ago. Still no change. It's still 30.06. Wind 140 at 11, 22 degrees centigrade. So still a beautiful day down in Hamilton Island. Not a cloud viewable, just some haze. Bit of cloud out there. Actually, there's cloud right in front of me, isn't there? Didn't even see it. But it won't affect us at all. There's no reports of any cloud, so no cloud detected at Hamilton Island. Just past 22,000 feet or flight level 220. I've had to drop the descent rate down to 2,500 feet per minute. We're coming down to flight level 150 now, and I've had to put the a bit of speed brake out as well because we just seem to be descending rapidly enough. So we're just coming below flight level 210. I think we should be fine now because we have got to, of course, come back around on this arc here and come back in. But yeah, a little bit unusual behaviour. We have got a slight crosswind, which is a near headwind, and it is 47 knots. Usually, if you have a tailwind, this behaviour happens. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll keep it coming down. And I'm going to leave you here and come back to you at flight level 100 or 10,000 feet. We're just at 130 now, or 13,000 feet, so not quite 10. But seatbelt signs are going to come on. I've reduced the descent down to 1,800 feet per minute, taken out the speed brake as well, because we seem to be have caught up to the altitude we needed to be at this stage. So with 30, oh actually it will tell us on here, won't it? With the 50, huh? I thought it was 30 something. Okay, no, because we have got to come back. So you're 53 miles away. Oh my God. You can tell I haven't recorded for quite a while. This is going very, very smoothly. But that's we're below 12,000, so 11,000 is our transition. I'm going to put the QNH to the ground numbers now, which is 30.06. Weather hasn't changed. 23-minute update. Yeah, QNH 30.06. Wind is still 140 for 11, so it's looking pretty good. We don't have to change anything in the flight computer at all. And once we come down to 10,000, we will get the landing lights on. I've already put the seatbelts on. I put them on at about 14,000 feet because that's roundabouts where I do them. If I don't do them earlier, that due to turbulence. And I can see that we do have a Boeing 737-800 NG in at Hamilton Island. This is where we're going, just in front of, actually, are they there? That's Hamilton Island runway there. I assume that they are on the ground. They could be out on in the bay. Maybe not. Anyway, so we probably will see a 737. Not sure if we'd actually be able to, if it will look like a 737. I do have the PMDG 73, so hopefully because I have it in my hangar, I should be able to see its shape. If not, it'll just sub in as that A330/767 weird hybrid that they use as a sub for twin engine jets. That is below 10,000 too, I missed that one, and we want to go landing lights on. And I'm just going to check, I think we need to be above 4,000. Oh, we're coming around this way here, okay. I thought we were going the other side of the airport, which meant that we would have to be above 4,000 because there is a 4,000 height limit above this point where my mouse is here, according to the chart. But obviously I've opened the wrong chart, and we're going to come around this way here. So it'll get us down. We have got plenty of distance to do that because we will go around about 15 miles north of Hamilton Island before turning to come in. So we have plenty of time to get us down to the 4,000 feet. You can see our speed has all been dropped down to green dot as well, so I will reduce our descent for a little bit just to get our speed down. It looks like the descent rate is behaving, so it's actually matching-ish what I'm putting in. Previous flights there'd be a 300 or 400 feet per minute difference, so you put in 2,000 feet per minute and you'll be descending at 2,400 to 2,500 feet per minute, which is just not ideal, but it looks like that was a glitch unique to the day I was playing, and it has resolved itself, which is rather fantastic. Okay, we're going to increase that descent rate down. Oh, that's going up. Down to 1,500 feet per minute. Once we get down to 6,000, I'll probably decrease that descent rate again because we have got more than 20 miles to get down to 4,000, which is more than enough. It's double what we need, which is brilliant. And then once we start to get a little bit closer, I will start putting some flaps out as well. Okay, I can see that 737 is definitely at the terminal. Hopefully not in the gate or the stand that I want to park in, but we'll see. Also, I didn't mention Hamilton Island has purchased scenery from the InSim marketplace as well. It came up, I think it's fairly new, it only just came up in the marketplace the other day of the last week, or the week that's just gone. So of course I snapped it up and bought it because it's a fun airport to fly into. And quite a unique airport as well. It's a tourist destination. They have hotels and resorts on the island, and it's all privately owned. I can't remember if the airport's privately owned or not. I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. But the three majors fly there in Australia, so Qantas, Jetstar and Virgin Australia all fly to Hamilton Island using a mix of A320 CO 200s and 737-800s, depending on the airline. Okay, so just making that turn to come up and back to our approach. And this looks really good. This is pretty similar to what it actually looks like, I think, if the foliage was always green, of course. But yeah, no, that looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, I'm going to reduce, I should have done this before, I'm going to reduce our descent down to go 800 feet per minute, because actually we'll go 500 feet. We're going to be sitting at 4,000 feet for quite some time as we come around this, this arc here. Because I was not paying attention, I was looking at the beauty of the foliage in the game. Okay, I'll come back to you once we have come around that bend just a little bit, because this is going to take a little bit of time and we're just going to be hovering at 4,000 feet. So stick around and I'll come back to you real soon. Just a little over 10 miles away from coming around the arc here, so we'll put that out to 10 there. And going to put flaps to 1, and while I'm here we'll arm that speed brake as well, because I often forget. Just to get our speed down a little bit. We are a little close to those hills. How close are we? Yeah, that's probably a little closer than we should be. We probably should be still at 6,000 feet at this stage, but I've descended just a little too soon. But that's okay, a bit of sightseeing for the passengers. Nothing like scaring the shit out of some budget airline passengers who think every landing is a rough landing, no matter how soft it is. I don't know if you find that. You talk to someone who knows nothing about aircraft. Oh, the landing was really, really rough. Really? I was at the airport, I was watching it, it was fine. Oh, but I felt the wheels hit the ground. Yeah, you will every single time. A slight bump is usually a buttery landing. But I do find most people are stupid. Not you guys though, not my viewers, you guys are amazing. Scenery looks really nice. I'm loving it. I mean, it's a bit flat, obviously, that's the standard in this, but it still looks really, really good. This is still on the mainland too, this is not the island. The island is over there. Or is it behind us? Oh, wrong island. I don't know where we are. Is there an airstrip down there? Huh. I wondered where that GA was parked. Okay, we're going to go flaps to 2. And we might put on the control cam. And for those of you who've never watched one of my videos before, yes, I'm flying an Airbus with a Yoke. Do not crucify me for that. That's the only controller I have at present. I am getting the Airbus Captain's Pack very soon, and I cannot wait. It's going to be a whole different configuration in the controls, and it's going to be more realistic. The Turtlebeach has served me very, very well. It's been a great starter Yoke. I recommend it if you are just starting the sim, but it is time for me to change it up. I'll use the Yoke for the Boeing aircraft and the ATR. And the A310, but I will use the side stick for any of the A3 family moving forward. Okay, let's just have a look at our nav display. So 4,000 there, it's also 4,000 there. I'm actually going to start dropping us down to 3,000. Reason being is because when I did do this flight yesterday, it was quite a steep descent from this waypoint to the final one, which is 20. It says there 2400. Yesterday, a different chart was 21. We're going to take it down to 1,000 feet and try and meet the glide slope. We're still 15 away though, so we've got plenty of time. In fact, let's raise that up a little bit. Now I'm going to punch in my landing speed already. I'm not going to, well, not punch it in, I'll dial it up, but I won't punch it because this aircraft, when you go to flaps full, which I do like to land in flaps full, especially with an 11 knot headwind, it takes us down to 120 knots. It might be the correct speed for the A320ceo. Again, not a pilot, have no idea at all, but I just feel like it's a little bit too slow, and you drop out of the sky, and the landing seems to be quite unrealistic. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at the nav. Sweet, so that's the airport there. There's no flight path line marker between that waypoint and the airport. And that was our desal point when we came in as well. So ignore that. Cool, it is saying to go down to 220, which go down to 2000. Just check everything is as it should be. Landing lights are on, seatbelts are on, of course, speed breakers armed. Flaps are at 2. Speed 190, we are good.
$2,500.
Okay, we're going to go gear down. Auto brake will set to medium. There's only a short runway at I think it's 1,700 metres. And we will drop down to 700 feet. We should be able to meet that glide slope. If not, I'm just going to hand land it, of course. Go flaps to 3. And we'll put our nose light on as well. Again, I've no idea if this is correct procedure. Also going to hit the approach button and see what happens. Oh, we actually get a the approach marker. It's not dropping down or anything, but it's interesting. Didn't get that yesterday when I was doing the practice run. I feel like I'm coming in too low. I can see 3 white pappies, so we are a little bit high apparently. Okay, I'm going to turn off the autopilot because I don't want to be turning. We're going to flaps full, and we are going to drop our speed to 144. because the autopilot just tried to turn us off to the right for some reason. RNAV approach is not working. Maybe I've done something wrong. Let's try and hand land this. We have to come in on a bit of a steep angle because we are just way too high.
300.
And we are
200.
still too high. There we go. Oh, we're going to be a little bit off to the right. Nothing,
60.
nothing new.
40, 30. 20. Retard 5.
Oh, that wasn't bad. A little bit off to the right, but and we did have sort of a rescue, a weird approach that the autopilot started doing. But otherwise, I'm happy with that. Okay, landing lights off. Taxi lights onto taxi, and we'll turn the strobe off as well. We do have to go all the way to the end to do our turn. But let's lose the speed brakes, and we will retract the flaps as well. Eventually, they will slowly come in. Obviously, didn't have a chance to put go around altitudes or anything in. I wasn't too worried about that anyway. Okay, so we'll do a bit of a turn here. It looks like there was an A320 on the apron as well as we come in the landing. That looks really, really nice. This is all this is a paid add-on. The airport in the game by default does not look like this at all. This looks really, really good. Frame rate just dropped a little bit there. Weird. Okay, let's get back down the other end of the runway. We're going to retract the landing lights and we'll turn the strobe right to off. We'll get the APU fired up as well. Seatbelts and no smoking to remain on. Might just tidy things up a little bit here as well. Bit of a lengthy taxi back down or backtrack back down the runway, so I will speed this up with an outside view for you. Okay, so that 7.3, which looks like a 7.3, that is quite exciting, has appeared on the runway in front of us. And we just made it off the runway to let them do their takeoff. I was hoping that they didn't get their do their turn too early and take off through us. It's really annoying when other simmers do that. They ignore you and like just wait a couple of minutes, guys. Like just let the runway clear. Let's focus on some realism. Right, we will take. Oh, that looks so good. That's the PMDG. Because I have it, oh, we can't see it now. It looks like the real deal in the game. That's awesome. Let's take this parking spot here. Oh, actually, no, we can take that one over there. Can't see where that parking spot's meant to be. It's looks like this is one here. Or not, so have I just messed it up? Okay, we're not actually in a proper parking spot, but if I go up to here, it should tell us, yeah, we don't have external power. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a full U-turn. And oh, what happened to the 737? It didn't take off. Maybe it's a ghost. I'm actually going to do a full 180 and we'll park in this spot over here. So parking brake off. I kind of messed. I think I parked in a Dash 8 park. Oh, there's the, yeah. The game's trying to tell me to park in weird places, which is not accurate. So I'm just going to do a U-turn. I'm just going to ignore them and park where is accurate. Should have gone with my instinct and parked where I'm about to park in the first place. Right, that should be a bit better. So we look up here, we've got external power available. So we are in a proper park. That is brilliant. APU is running, so we will get the power off. Leave the navs on. Oh, there's the 737. It did take off. Awesome. It just seemed to be stuck halfway down the runway. It was weird. Beacon light can come off, and we will go to the fake EFB and turn on the ground power. We'll get the front steers out and we'll turn off the GPU, engine 1, engine 2 bleeds, engine 1, engine 2 generators, and we will put out the rear steers as well. Might as well get all the fuel pumps off while we're here. And we can now turn the seatbelts off. Wonderful. Welcome to Hamilton Island, ladies and gentlemen. I really want to do this in the 737, but I don't have the livery packs yet, as you would know if you fly an Xbox. Anyway, let's have a look on the outside. Oh, we don't have cones. Better get those out as well. There we go. We've got the cones out. That doesn't quite match up with the walkway, but that's okay. That one there does. And we can also we'll get the cargo loader as well. So we've got some cargo loading action going on with no baggage carts. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video. I know it was a bit messy. It has been quite a while since I've recorded, and also quite a while since I've flown the A320, because I've been focusing on the 737-800 and the ATR, both of which will be filmed in upcoming videos. The 737 I've pretty much got down pat for ILS, but haven't tried any RNAV approaches in it just yet, but I will. The ATR, yeah, do all right in it, and I've got liveries for that too, so I will might do some New Zealand flights and some Australian flights in the liveries, because I've got Virgin Australia and Air New Zealand. And so that will be fun. We might do some American flights in the Silver Airlines or Silver Airways livery that comes with it, or even the FedEx. And I've just got Logan Air, which I'm very excited about, so we'll do some Scotland flights in that one as well. Also, we'll be flying the 787-10 once AAU2 is finalised. I'm in the beta program. It's going all right. They've made some really nice improvements. They just need to improve the frame rates for that. But that is all coming up on the channel at later dates. So keep an eye on that. I will try not to make it 130 days next time. But until then, I will see you guys later.